Clemson fans, it's time to learn your fate. We've got another edition of Barton Makes Picks. That's Barton Simmons. I'm Trey Scott. Barton, we're going to go game by game, week by week. The Tigers look poised to run the table. They look poised to meet Alabama again in the national title game. Maybe they're going to repeat. Maybe they're going to do 44-16 all over again. Maybe they're going to go 15-0 all over again. I'm excited to see what happens, aren't you?
It's undefeated or bust for Clemson right now. I mean, the aw shucks, here we are, little old Clemson, the Roy bus. It's no longer working. Now the expectations have been there, but they're taken to a new level at this point with Trevor Lawrence under center.
Yeah, you got the best player in football in Trevor Lawrence, you mentioned, and it feels like the debate all offseason has been who is college football's king, who sits atop the throne. You could go Clemson or Alabama right now, and I'd hear the argument. If Clemson wins a back-to-back, and then 3 of the last 4, I think it's Clemson's world. So let's get started. Opening up the season against Georgia Tech at home on a Thursday night, launched the ACC network. And what do you got?
This is a tough game to veer away from the option offense.
Yeah.
Jeff Collins, year 1. We're going to go W for Clemson. No upset in week 1.
Texas A&M in week 2. I will be there.
Will you?
I will be there.
All right.
I will be there.
For pleasure or work?
Pleasure.
Okay. Well, I hope it's a good game for you.
Yeah.
Look. We all saw Texas A&M almost win this game last year. This is a better Texas A&M team. And I think with Kellen Mond in year 2, this is certainly, if you're looking for trip-up spots.
Yeah.
This isn't even a trip-up spot. And I think maybe that's part of the reason why I think Clemson wins this game. They understand that this is a huge, huge moment. They got to win here, so I think they do.
2-0, you mentioned trip-up spots. At Syracuse, they lost last time they were in the Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
Of course, Kelly Bryant got hurt in that game.
Yeah, coming off of that Texas A&M, perhaps a game that they had to play 4 quarters and really get down to the wire to win. This is a ripe opportunity for an upset, and I think I would make the case if there is an upset on this schedule, the most likely one is this Syracuse one. That said, look, I think Clemson, even if Chase Bryce is a quarterback, is an undefeated level team. Mm-hmm. I think that they go ahead and win here.
3-0. We're going to kick it into high gear. Charlotte, 4-0. At North Carolina, 5-0. Bye week, Florida State. That used to be a fun game.
No, not. Well, look, at Florida State.
Oh, come on.
But Florida State, at this point in the schedule, we will know if this is the new Florida State or just another old year because they still have talent. But I think that Clemson wins.
Yeah, I mean, they will. 6-0 at Louisville.
Yeah.
7-0. This is fun.
Yeah.
Boston College.
I think that's another win as well. Hey, maybe Boston College can play a little ball control offense and just pound the rock and keep it away from Clemson. But at some point, you got to hand the ball to Trevor Lawrence.
I wish I was good enough at multitasking to tick down the schedule while asking you questions I have about Clemson. But 9-0 at NC State.
Yeah, 9-0. You're counting that Wofford win.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
At NC State. Look, last year they blew NC State out. The previous 2 years were 1-score games, including one they almost lost in overtime. So I would say most likely upset number 2 on this schedule is right here. But at this point, man, they are in a zone. 1 goal, national title, they win.
10-0. Wake Forest up next.
Yeah, hey, don't sleep on Dave Clawson, but
sleep on him.
W.
11-0 bye week at South Carolina. This is kind of a fun game last year for 3 quarters.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun game this year for 2.
Okay.
But no, this is a W as well.
So 12-0. Now we're allowed to reset a little bit. Clemson in the ACC title game will probably have the luxury of stomping whoever they play. You've got it to beat Virginia on the other side. So can I safely say Clemson wins that game?
You can say Clemson wins that game, but they better show up.
Okay. Now, we've got the playoff field set by you. You have Clemson as the 2 seed in the college football playoff, matching up against Georgia. So let's slow it down. Let's talk about that game a little bit. 2 teams with as much talent as anyone in college football outside of Alabama. What do you think?
Well, it's time for Xavier Thomas to have his moment. The next guy up on the defensive line going up against maybe the best offensive line in college football. I think it's going to be a blast to see Eric Stokes and Tyson Campbell, cornerbacks with 10 300-meter type of speed, try to match up against those big wide receivers and those elite pass catchers on the Clemson side of the ball. I still think that there's enough big plays to be made by Clemson offensively There's too many weapons to beat you, and Trevor Lawrence is so steady in these moments. I love them. This is going to be maybe as fun a game as there is in all of college football.
The storylines for that game, Trevor Lawrence playing Georgia, his home state team. I mean, that's
Jake Fromm on the other side, another Georgia guy, two guys unflappable at quarterback. It's going to be a blast. I hope this game happens.
Me too.
But I still think Clemson wins.
14-0, and now it's inevitable, Alabama in Arizona. No, I'm sorry, in New Orleans.
Yeah. So
who's going to celebrate?
Well, look, I think that Alabama has what Clemson had last year, and that's motivation. That's focus. That is, they've had something to drive them all off season. And Clemson, while I think they're equipped with the personalities on that team to really play with a target on their back, I still think that Alabama, a motivated Nick Saban, a focused team with just as much talent, if not more, than Clemson, I'm going to ride with Alabama. They take the title back, and the rivalry continues.
Well, these fans aren't going to like that.